To get more insights on the issues in the 2025 midterm elections, we have NAMFREL Secretary General Eric Alvia. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, good morning too. Morning.
Yes, of course, I'd like to ask you initially, how would you assess the conduct of the entire 2025 midterm elections?
Okay, well, despite all of the inconveniences and isolated incidents of violence or even harassment, we were able to pull off. No, we have to congratulate ourselves that we were able to pull off these elections. No, in terms of turnout, no, it seems that we didn't expect that people really decided to exercise their right to vote. No? And we're looking at around 83 to 85% turnout for these midterm elections. No? Usually, turnout is high during presidential elections, but these midterm elections defied that, no? And also showed that people are still concerned, no? About the quality of their leaders, especially at the local level.
Yeah, you said turnout, yeah, it was a high for a midterm. No? But do you have any data at all that would suggest if the turnout was due in large to the, well, there was a talk about the resurgence of the youth vote.
Yes, that's one of the reasons which added to an increase in turnout. At the same time, also, we're not discounting the fact that the turnout also may be due to the flow of resources, quote unquote, no? Flow of resources to the regular voters.
Right. O, kasi nakikita daw natin regarding dun sa question ni Diego, sir, na sabi nila almost or at least 60% of the voters population came from the Gen Zs and the millennials. Kaya daw talagang mataas din yung voter turnout. Pero I was wondering, sir, kasi what could be the reasons? Kasi I'm reading po a report here na medyo mababa daw po yung voter turnout sa Misamis Oriental.
Okay. One is probably the quality of the contest also in Misamis Oriental. No? We have to check first if there are uncontested seats. No? Usually, pag mga lugar na walang kalaban, no? Hindi na lumalabas yung mga botante na para pumoto. There are other areas also that we saw, no? Where there is an increase in vote buying, mababa rin yung turnout, no? Because you can also convince someone not to turn out to vote, no? Through vote buying.
O yun. Mataas daw kasi dito from 86.8% noong 2022, nag-drop siya ng 51% yung voter turnout.
Yes, that's a drastic drop. Yeah. So we see why we have to check first why people are disinterested to vote, no, in that area.
Right.
And attribute it to whatever factor.
But this time around, I'd like to ask you, what was the common complaint that you have received, or well, not complaint, or accusations of anomaly that you have received so far? Kahit hindi pa po verified, ano po yung general na nakikita nyo?
Okay, yeah. This is precisely why we wanted to avoid all of this loose talk going around. When we convinced Comelec that they should not anymore have a router or a transparency server and send straight to the stakeholders the data generated coming from the automated counting machines. No? That was the agreement with Comelec when we started. No? So the recipients would be political parties, citizens arms, the media
entities,
and other groups. No? But apparently, the data behavior did not show that. On election day, last Monday, we noticed that at around 7:33, data already was flowing in to the Comelec website, no, showing the results. No? But other groups, no, that were supposed to receive it also were not receiving it.
Right.
And only about 2 hours later did we receive a data packet which contained a different content or payload. No, it did not contain election returns but only file formats, no? And headers. No, so this should have prevented the unnecessary loose talk and accusations that the transmission of data coming from Comelec was manipulated.
One issue that arise that pinag-usapan talaga was the issue of duplications, no?
Yes.
Supposedly
Yes, yeah.
na kas-
So
com-
that's another issue, no?
yeah, and
So
I think
the late,
Comelec stopped
yeah,
short po of blaming the systems of other entities because of that. Sabi nila wala daw program.
it's a very simple process, no? Conversion process. The file format that we're getting from Comelec, which is a comma separated value format, automatically is changed to a human readable format, no? So simple yon. In fact, we prepared for that, and we know when we say we, no, everyone, no, even the media recipients have prepared for that. That's a very simple process, no, and it will not take 1 or 2 hours, no, to convert that file, no. In fact, instantaneous yan, no. Pagpasok ng CSV file, if you have your program, when you receive it, automatically you can already display the human readable data. No?
But are you satisfied with Comelec's explanation regarding doon sa duplicated votes?
Not yet. Not yet. We need a technical explanation, and we also need an explanation from Comelec why the original agreement of sending to all directly from the ACMs was not observed. No? Dapat nga from the ACMs, from the machines, diretso ka agad sa atin. No? And you, no, even the media, no, experience a delay. No?
Yeah.
So what happened to that?
Parang sa media ata, umabot ng mga bandang 10:30 lumabas yung data.
That's
yung
true,
sa transmission.
no? So at that point, the Comelec was already publishing around 80% or almost 70 to 80%, no, transmitted ERs. Yet we, the recipients, no, were not receiving even any data.
I would like to understand, sir, how this could have happened. Because initially, when we also encountered the machine, and what was explained to us is the moment nag-transmit po ang isang ACM, simultaneous nagsasubmit concurrently with Comelec and all the other entities. So
That's
if
true.
Comelec received it at 7:30, the school of thought is binato rin ng machine yan at the same time, parallel to Comelec to the other servers. So what
Yes.
happened po to that to all these data packets? Nag-log jam or did it pass through Comelec muna?
Apparently, based on the behavior of the data, it appears that there is still a router. There is still a server that throttles the data, no, to the other recipients. And I thought that the previous agreement was that this should have been taken out from the transmission flow. So apparently, because of that, there is still an existing server or router which controls the outflow of data.
And that's the only explanation that you can think of. Kasi kami po, hindi naman po kami techie
Yeah.
So nakikita niyo yun lang yung
most
maaaring
likely na nangyari.
Who runs this-
Trinattle nila, kinontrol nila yung data. They prioritize their server and their website. Tapos pinadala na lang nila sa huli or with a delayed time to the recipients, to the other recipients.
So, pero sa mga tao kung hindi po masyadong technical, syempre concerning yan, parang okay, may a lot of the data coming out pala passes through a router. But in hindsight po, who controls this router and is it possible? I'm not saying ginagawa po, but kung may mga maduduming balak dyan, is it possible that since hindi real-time pumapasok sa entities, if somebody decides to do something or manipulate the data, it can happen?
Well, the presence of a router can give rise to malicious actions, no? Kasi nga hindi natin makumpara real time yung data. We're not saying that something happened.
Of course.
We're just saying that we lost the visibility and we also lost some confidence because of the lack of transparency.
Yes.
Did you see this also doon sa history of Miru system? Because we all know this is the first time that we used Miru system. No? For the last 2 major elections, Smartmatic tayo. So that's what I'm gonna ask you din po. Mas okay ba na nag-Miru system tayo? And based on the, kumbaga parang investigation, research ng NAMFREL, may mga ganitong klaseng incidents din ba nung ganito ang ginamit na Miru system sa ibang bansa?
Okay. All of these concerns that are arising right now comes from a process outside of the machine itself, no? Because the machine perform as expected, except
Okay
for
naman.
some cases because yung nga, maraming report nga na hindi binabasa yung balota because yung scanners marumi. And we understand that this, again, could have been avoided if the stress test or if the final testing and sealing was done better. No? Sana yung final testing and sealing would have been done earlier. At the same time also, sana yung stress test ginamit yung tropical conditions, no? With high heat, high humidity,
Right.
very high air particulates, no? Especially dust, no? In countries like the Philippines, no? The concern right now arising from all of this delay, no, in data is within the Comelec process of transmitting the data to the stakeholders. No?
Alright.
So yun, it's outside of the machine.
Alright, sige po. With that, maraming salamat po for your insights, NAMFREL Secretary General Eric Alvia. Magandang
Okay, thank you
umaga
very
po.
much also.